My strategy now, you just saw one of those trams go by, that yellow one, is to just follow the tracks in the hopes at some point I'll find a little restaurant I could get either ramen in or noodles or udon, something like that. And if all else fails, I'll just grab the tram and go back to my place. Apparently he's finding something that comes off that first falls and washes over his feet or near his feet. You know, turn around and grab it quickly. And he takes a little nibble of water to ease it down, I guess. Interesting clock feature. Don't know for sure what that thing on top is doing. It's an interesting building. Place called Parco. Looks like a pedestrianized street with a cover. Has a new mall. Should be able to find something to eat. It branches off. Yep. For another huge block or two. A grocery store and a bakery. Pretty nice. Beautiful strawberries. These are probably raised in those greenhouses. And you don't see, I don't think, you see a lot of green. No, you don't. These are just at the perfect ripeness. All kinds of restaurants because the rent's a little bit lower. It ends. You look to your right instead of straight ahead. And it continues, so we'll keep continuing. I want to track this whole thing. Lots of restaurants, so that's good. I'm going to eat within the half hour. Well, that's it. So now I'll retrace my steps and find out where I want to eat tonight. So what do you think this manhole cover's got to do with? Other places in Japan, the restaurants, they'll be completely automated. So you sit down, look at the menu, figure out what you want. Then you come up to the machine and you put your money in here. And then here you're going to click on one or two, how many people there are that you want a particular dish for. And then it's going to flash up the dishes, and I assume you can whip things around. Anyway, my dish isn't here, but when it did come up, we clicked it once. Waitress was helping me. And then what it does is, it kicks out the ticket, which I give to her, and that's what she gives to the cook, who makes up whatever he's going to make up, and the change comes out here. There you are. And there's my receipt. This system wipes out the hypo that contract professor gave from the very beginning about how we enter into contracts every day. And for example, when you sit down at a restaurant, you order some food, and there is an implied promise when you've done that you are going to accept their offer, which was the menu. And your consideration, I don't know what that is. I'd have to go back and figure it out. Okay, so here we have it. This is pork and vegetables on, I think, I have to dig in there and see, but it should be rice or noodles. No, how about, no it's not. It's just that, vegetables, and then here's my rice, duh. And this is probably, might be a form of tofu, and this probably miso soup. And so there you are, that was $6.90, which tallies out at about 5 something. For what this is, but it's got nicely raked yard, and a pretty yard. And this big building that looks like it's a shrine. Pretty flowers on this hedge. The irony of these big cities is once you get off the main street, go back in a block, and you can find tranquility like the people who live in these homes. I don't know how it is for the people that are in those apartments unless they drop down here and get the same ambience. Certainly I don't know about those. Now leaving Kumamoto at 6:08 for Okayama, and from Okayama to Kochi. This should be a 3-hour ride on this fantastic plane. There's nothing unique about any of the cities that I'm visiting as a whole. Inside each city are temples of importance, sites of importance, castles of importance, and parks of importance. At the other side, a different view.
We'll be stopping at all stations before arriving at Hakata. After leaving Oseki, Shin-Yamaguchi, Hiroshima, Fukuyama, Okayama, and Shin-Kobe stations before arriving at Shin-Osaka Terminal.
What's interesting is it leaves the city, you feel at different moments the engineer or whatever cranks up the speed a bit. You can probably make out the degree of list. I'm holding this thing, I think, pretty much level right now, but we're tipped to the left as we go through this mountain tunnel. One thing that makes the landscape pretty when you get to look at it are the wispy, fern-like bamboo trees. There. I don't know whether this barrier is designed to protect us or the surrounding tranquility. I'm guessing that those interior flat rails are the mag line or the magnetic devices that elevate the train and allow for its very high speed. I'm guessing, as I haven't looked to see on the internet, that this technology creates a balance between the gravitational connection to the regular rails in order to have enough friction to drive the train forward, and the repelling magnetic capability in order to reduce the amount of weight that's on the rails that has to be propelled forward. Looking at that, it looks like these are big cement slabs that are positioned and held in position by that circular union, if you will, but then in between it is some kind of shock absorbing or temperature accommodating material. And then this gap may just mean that they don't need all that cement. The lack of the mag lines may mean this is not a dedicated Shinkansen line, that particular line.
We will soon make a brief stop at Kurume. The exit.
Notice that's pronounced Kurume. Look how much we're tipped over right now.
Passengers.
These little ditties that are so familiar to us from our American music, the different ones are heard at different times on many of the different transportation systems. It's a prelude, apparently, to an announcement. Again, I have no idea where this thick haze comes from. These cherry tomatoes I bought in the large mall yesterday in Kumamoto before I had dinner. They come packaged almost as a gift pack, but they're not. That's just the way they package them. My guess is that they're greenhouse grown, and they seem to be pretty much perfect in that they're perfect in looks, perfect in texture, They're firm, so they're fresh and not overgrown or old and soft, as often is the case after the couple of weeks of prime season in Jackson. Hiroshima.
Please change trains here at Hiroshima. Thank you.
There's some very pretty waterways here. Phenomenon by Japanese that sounds like an animal. It sounds like the Chinese or the Koreans.
今日も新幹線をご利用くださいまして。
桜545を使用する行きです。次の
This is the back end, depending upon which way the train is going, the front end, depending upon which way it's going. Amazingly sleek. Cleaning guy, notice the uniform, he goes and he cleans all day long, all this stuff, so it's always spotless. This is Japan in a nutshell. It's interesting what this yellow train is. It looks like a prison train or a work train, but this is just Japanese gut bomb filler, which is just about the same as American gut bomb filler. Chocolate, which is always an inducement. Something inside there, you see it in the bottom layer. Otherwise, it's just a cheap pastry.